Okay, hello everyone. My name is William Hollis. I'm an associate librarian with Mandel Public Library, and I would like to welcome you to the latest edition of our Quick Tips series, in which we provide helpful tips and resources to assist you with your job search, with your professional and personal development, to help you navigate the internet and technology better. So, in this edition, we are going to go over how to create an account in Indeed.com. Indeed is a valuable job resource as far as a website where you can find job vacancies and openings and where you can apply for those positions. So with no further ado, we are going to get into how to create an account for Indeed. So as you can see, we are at www.indeed.com. We are going to go to the top right-hand corner, and we are going to click Sign In. And this is important because normally it would say Create Account, but it doesn't say that on this website. So we're going to say Sign In. Now, we're going to assume we don't have an account yet. So you're going to come down to where it says New to Indeed, Create an Account. You're going to create an account. Now we're going to put in our email address. We're going to use the generic email address that we've been using for these series. So obviously you would use your own personal email or your own professional email, whichever one you want to use. And then we will put in our password. Always make sure you remember your passwords. Now this has a verification, as you can see. This is just to make sure that we're not a robot. So we're going to click on each image where there is a taxi. And it'll provide you different prompts whenever you look to create a new account. This just wants to make sure you're not a robot. So we're going to click verify. The system sees that we're not a robot, and we will create an account. Now we'll say never for saving the password. We really don't need to do that. So now, as you can see, there are two options. There's an option to upload a resume. If we were going to do that, we're not going to do it right now, but you would just click upload your resume, and then you would select your resume. So if I wanted to enter it, I would click on that resume and touch open and select open, but we're not going to do that. We're going to cancel that. So that's what you would do if you did have a resume to upload, but we're going to assume that you don't. So if you don't have a resume, that's okay because Indeed has a resume builder feature built in. So we're going to click build a new resume. So now this asks that we confirm our email. So they send a link just to make sure that we provided our own personal email. So you'll want to have that email pulled up. So fortunately, I happen to have that email pulled up. As you can see from Indeed, here's a verification email. We're going to click on that, and they'll normally just send a link that says confirm your account. And that's not just for Indeed, but for any site that asks for email confirmation to confirm your account. We're going to click the link to confirm it. So we'll say continue. Your email address is now confirmed. So now let's go to Indeed resume. We should actually be able to go ahead and build our resume. There we go. So we just refresh that page. And now we are creating an Indeed resume. So we are entering in John Smith. That's our fictional person. We'll say West Palm Beach. As you can see, they ask if you're eligible to work in the United States. So that's if you're a US citizen or a legal permanent resident or whatever the case may be. We're going to say that we're authorized to work in the US. We have our contact information. They have the option to provide your phone number. I'm actually going to provide the library phone number or my library phone number just to illustrate what you would do. So we put in our phone number. This asks, can you send text messages? If you don't want to receive text messages from Indeed, you're going to leave that blank. If you do want notifications, you would go ahead and check that box. And we're going to go on from there. So that's how you would put in the phone number, but I don't want to actually receive phone calls for a fictional person, but that's how you would enter it. We're going to click next. And now we're going to continue with our education. So we're going to select our level of education. We're going to say high school diploma, but we would use whichever level of education you have, whether it's a high school diploma, associate, which would be a 2-year degree, bachelor's is a 4-year degree, a master's would be graduate study, and then the creme de la creme would be the doctorate. So we'll go ahead and choose high school diploma. And then field of study, it's funny when they ask this for high school. If you ever get this question, I just always put general studies. Learn general information. So as far as the school, we'll say John Smith High School. What do you know? There's a John Smith High School. So actually, we'll put a local school. Let's do that. Let's choose a local school. We'll say Palm Beach Lakes High School. You see it has options to help us along. Do we currently go there? No, we don't. For education, if it's something that where you don't quite remember the month and the year, just go ahead and estimate. So we'll say September, I don't know, doing the math. This part you would obviously fill in your own information. I have to remember this fictional person that I created for the other quick tips videos. So we said he was born in 1960. Let's say that he started high school in 1974. Let's see, 14, ninth grade, makes sense. And then we'll say that he graduated, let's see, 74, 75, 76, 77. That part you'll just put in your own information. But we'll say that it was May of 1978. Again, what you would do as far as the month, if you don't remember exactly, just estimate to the best of your ability. That's all they can really ask that you do. So we'll go ahead and say next. Now, work experience. For job title, we'll say cashier. So again, you'll see that when you start filling in the job title, that the system actually searches for identical job titles to help you along. We will say that he worked at 7-Eleven. That works. Or better yet, racetrack. There's a racetrack near my house. Racetrack Petroleum. No, too fancy. I like 7-Eleven. There's one of those there too. So 7-Eleven, we will say West Palm Beach. We will say currently works there. You can choose to or from. If you currently work at your, if you currently work with your employer, if you're currently employed, I should say, you would check I currently work here. If not, you would put the date from to when you stopped. And obviously, if you don't remember, just guesstimate to the best of your ability. But we'll say currently work here, and they'll ask when he started. We will say that he started in April, I'm sorry. Again, you'll fill that in to the best of your ability. So April 2016 to present, we'll say. And then you would use job description. Now, I also want to show you a little trick, actually, if you're ever at a loss for how to describe your position. Fortunately, we have the internet. You can type in cashier job description. So they actually have cashier job descriptions, and you can seek out any resource. You can seek out any resource online. You can look up a job description if you're not quite sure of what to do. So actually, we'll go ahead, let's say just for the sake of time, let's say that you select 5 bullets. Usually you're gonna want 3 to 5 bullets. So you can highlight those and you can say Control C, you can hit Control C, and then you can hit Control V. So that's how you can copy and paste. That's if you don't remember or if you don't really know how to phrase your job description. If you do know your job description, it's best that you do it yourself, but that's just a small hack that might be beneficial to you. So that's how you would fill out your job description. We're going to go to the next step. Or no, we'll save that actually. So we save that work experience. And then as you can see, here's a little notice. It says filling out 2 or more work experiences will double your chances of being contacted. So they want to see some job experience. You don't have to make up experience, mind you. They just like to see that you've had a few jobs. But if you're young, for example, and you haven't, then you wouldn't, fill out the work experience. Maybe you would just list volunteer or community service hours experience. So, but you're going to fill out your background. We'll fill out one more job description. Let's say before 7-Eleven that he worked at McDonald's. Let's say he was a McDonald's cashier. So McDonald's, that was also West Palm Beach. And let's say he worked there from, we'll say January, we said 2016. So let's say he worked from January 2012 to April 2016. Now, as you can see, it's a cashier and everything. I would suggest if you've had the same sort of job, I would list a different job description. So I wouldn't take these first, 5. You can put in your own though, obviously. This is just to assist you, or this list is just here to assist you if you really had a difficult time figuring out how to word it, so. But just to show you some creativity, let's say if you did know your job description and you didn't need to look elsewhere, for a McDonald's cashier, let's say I would say process orders in a timely manner. Perform cash handling transactions. Again, you would word this, in the best way possible. Perfect. And then 3 to 5 bullets will do it. So let's say this would be maintain orderly workspace and provide customer service. So that's just an example of how you would fill out the description. Again, that's going to be based on whatever your position is. So now we're going to say save. And let's go next. So now we filled out our job, we filled out our background, I should say, our experience and our education. So now the Indeed resume asked for skills. So they're asking, do you have any of these top skills that employers are looking for as far as your resume based on your background? So you would say yes to cash handling, cashiering. If you worked at McDonald's, just as an example, food service. So let's say that you added those skills. So if those are your skills, you would add the ones that, apply to you best. You would say next. And now, as you can see, you now have an Indeed resume. You now have an Indeed resume. You can also add other certifications, and you see these different links. We're not going to look at those right now, but I just wanted to show you how to create an Indeed account and then how to utilize their program so that you can create a resume if you don't have one already. So once again, this has been another edition of Quick Tips. I hope that this is helpful and beneficial. Please check out the library's website at wpb.org. I can be reached at whollis@wpbcitylibrary.org if you have any questions. And I want to wish you the best. I want to make sure that you Stay safe and take care. Please check in with us. We are providing different virtual programs, and we are doing our best to remain a resource in spite of the pandemic to provide services and support the community. So thank you again for tuning in. I want you to have a wonderful day, and you take care.